We're live. As if you were ready.
I was so okay. For those of you who are here, and for those who will see this later,
Cassie, what part of Mason made you quit your girl? Yeah.
It's something about the us and the we. My Corsicans, they can't we her. So yeah, it's just
welcome to another girls' night out of cozy sips with your favorite girlfriends. I'm that C in the cat, the crazy, creative, compelling USA Today best-selling romance author, Cassie Verano, and
And I'm Ty. I've never been good at freestyling. You can ask
she
my
is the
sister.
talented, she is the talented truth Thai
I like
USA
it.
Today
I like it. I
temporary
like it.
best-selling author. There we go. How about that?
Yes. I like that. I'm just gonna give a disclaimer because my sisters know my sisters are the queen of freestyle. They'll just be like, they'll just start flowing and rapping. Like, and your turn. I'm all like,
Hey, Ruby, Ronnie, Tony, and Roz. Welcome to the
Rosalind.
show tonight, ladies. So, what's your cozy sip, Ty?
As we were talking earlier, I haven't had much to eat today. So although I said tonight I was determined to drink, but if I do that, it would just be Cassie tonight. So so I'm just drinking me some good old peach tea.
Yes. Okay.
And what's your cozy sip?
I am sipping on sweet tea. I don't have the peach. I love that Georgia peach tea, that Lipton thing.
It's real good.
But I don't have that tonight. Mr. V made me some tea, and it is free of alcohol because, like Thai ladies, I have not been eating today. Today has been a day. Today was daying, and so I didn't have time to eat anything. I had a bunch of sugar in me, so I just kind of been hyping and buzzing all over the place. But I didn't think it was a good idea to drink alcohol because y'all know your girl can't deal with the alcohol on a regular day. So you can imagine me on a day like today where I haven't had anything to eat.
Yes,
Okay,
I would agree
but
with
let's
that.
get into the show. You're going to share your cozy plugs with the people?
Sure. Let's see. What is my cozy? Okay, we don't have a guest. It's just like I'm just all like, what are we talking about
We're
today?
just freestyling. It's just
We're
however
just
we flow.
freestyling. Yes. So with that, with that said, because I know we said at one point we'll read excerpts from my book. So
Hmm.
um that's later though, not right now with the cozy sips, right? Or what
Right.
are we saying?
That's going to be later on
Okay,
tonight.
okay, okay. So this week, and I'm going to read an excerpt later. This week, on Friday, and it's already on Kindle Vella for those who already read Kindle Vella or have already started this story. This Friday, the ebook version of it's actually two books. It's a pretty mess, and which is the very first one. I changed the
Hmm.
cover from when it first dropped back in November, and they are duets. You can read them together. Of course, it's better if you read them together, but they're also standalones. A Pretty Mess is a new adult
Hmm.
romance. It's a love triangle in which this woman who she's young, about to turn 21, never really had a boyfriend, never really she felt plain but one summer she decides to get sexy and ask her best friend slash roommate to pretend to be a boyfriend to attract the attention of the hot football player next door. And mess ensues, ending up with her being pregnant and not sure whether it's her best friend's baby or the football player. So she goes from being plain Jane to a little hot mama. So it's
Okay.
interest it's interesting story of decisions, consequences, and just finding out who you are. And then 8 years later, the three are back together. She's now married to the football player,
I am so loving
and
these covers.
she's now, yes, thank you. She's now married to the baseball player, and I mean football player, and the old best friend comes back into the picture, still wanting to be with her, and he's also engaged. So it's definitely uh, adultery for those who some people not comfortable reading, but I'm just like she knows the book as adultery because they are married, and her best friend who she has always loved is engaged, and it's a beautiful mess because now there are children involved, and there's a child involved, and the track star, the old best friend, has no idea that the child that he thinks is his ex best friend slash girlfriend is his. So
Mm.
that's all a beautiful mess because the father, who's always raised her as his own, is scared that I'm gonna lose my. She won't see him as a father anymore. So there's a lot of drama in that. And then of course we find out that the husband has his own secrets that gets revealed, and so by the end of it, it is a hot mess. So I'll end it like that, and I will read an excerpt. So for those who like new adult romance, who read any age, start with a pretty mess. For those who want to deal more with contemporary romance, because at this point the characters are hitting 30 and older, then read a beautiful mess. All right, so that is now. And it's also again on Kindle available, but for those who don't, on ebook, it drops this Friday. There's no pre-order links. I'm literally just dropping it as we go. All right. So
Stuff.
yes.
I got to get out of that too. Out of
Mhm.
the pre-order. Got to get out the pre-orders.
Oh.
Back to just letting it happen.
Yes.
Whew, because y'all don't know that is a stressful life.
It is. It is trying to make sure everything is oh yes, any new content? No, pretty much is what it is re-edited, it's revised. So it is in terms of if you read on Kindle, it might be some slight differences, but the overall story is the same. Of course, I had my betas read it and tell me, what could be fine tuned. Now there is something new with a beautiful mess. There's a bonus epilogue. It's about 6,000 words extra that says what happens 10 years later after the end of the beautiful mess. So now they're approaching 40, and this is what's going on with them.
I always love that at the very end. I don't know why I don't do them, but I love it when somebody goes, "Oh, what was wrong with my facial expression?"
I have no idea. I just put what Rosalind said.
But I always love it when you guys will write about what's happening way off in the future. I'll do like maybe a year, but I love that. I love to go back and read that to see what happened.
Yeah, I normally don't go that far in advance, but because this trio was so dramatic and messy,
Yeah.
I was like, I have to go a little further here just because I don't know if a year people would trust it if I just went a year here. They're like, I don't know. So, well, she said it was wrong. She said your profession was wrong. I still don't quite know what that means.
Okay, yeah. My cozy.
Oh, she said it wasn't wrong. Okay, she said it wasn't wrong.
Yeah, I don't know the expression.
No. I guess she was saying it wasn't a bad one. She was just laughing at how it looked in general. I guess that's her point. Oh yeah. So what's your cozy?
Now she's gonna have me going back watching the show later so I can catch whatever it might have been. Like, what did I do? What did I do? Okay. Anyway, my cozy plugs are episode 74 of Rose Drops Tomorrow. And there's
crazy.
Some more drama.
74. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah. I'm loving it. They're loving it. It's I don't know. It just takes me back when I do it. It really takes me back to being a girl, being a kid. And my mom would watch. That was back when we had VCR tapes. And yeah, I know I'm aging myself. It's all good. But my mom would record the soap operas every day when she went to work. And then when she come home in the evening, she'd sit down after dinner. She'd sit down and she'd watch her, whatever she recorded. And I sit and watch it with her. And I'd always catch General Hospital on my own because I made it home in time to watch it when I was in elementary school. So, but that's what this gives me in writing it, because it's about a whole family, the whole Roman Empire and all the drama that's happening. And it's like every time you think one situation is resolved, another one pops up. But more than that, I love tugging on their emotions and seeing how they're going to react to what I've done next. And sometimes it's not always a good thing, but it is what it is.
No, that's what makes
And
it
then,
exciting.
yeah, for those of you who are on Patreon, I go and check me out. If you're already on Patreon, go and join my Patreon and check out the new story that I have that's going on, which is Disclosure. And for those of you who are not on Patreon yet, but you're interested in reading Disclosure, go and check me out. Because Tony said, "Who is chick number
That's
two?"
why I was leaving it up to you to tell her who it is. You probably got to go
So-
back so we can see who is chick number 2. Can you go
Okay,
back?
let me go back. Hold on. So here, hold on. Let me hide my little. So here we're seeing from my left to right, and I guess this you guys is as well. We're seeing Courtney, and then we're seeing Ava Rose, and then we're seeing Brecken, and then there is Alex, his ex-wife. So his ex-wife, his wife, and her daughter. Okay, Donna. So definitely, if you guys love a good serial that is full of drama and full of excitement, and it's sexy, and it's going to piss you off, and it's going to make you happy, and it's going to make you cheer, you definitely want to check out Rose. And if you're already reading it, but you're not a part of the inside drama, go and join my group, Rose, the Kindle Vella, the Facebook group, because the ladies in there have a ball. They're in there dropping all their GIFs, all the stuff that goes with it. And they talk and they express their emotions and they tag me and they curse me out and they throw their phones and they just do all the stuff. So you definitely want to check that out. But getting back to Patreon. So check me out on Patreon. I've got 3 different tiers that you can check out, and they are super, super affordable with lots of great things to go with them, including this story, Disclosure. And Disclosure is a second chance romance, enemies to lovers romance, where there are 2 people who come together and they have this wonderful night, and he finds out she's not who she said she was, and she is setting him up to be robbed/killed. And then he comes back and he finds her again some years later on accident, and how they work through all of that and resolve it. But it's, a really angsty story. It's full of drama and it's full of adventure. So check that out on Patreon. And it drops every Tuesday and Thursday. And then we've also got behind the scenes discussions and things of that nature. So definitely join me on Patreon.
Jennifer just
And
wanted
then
she says you ignore the admins when they ask questions. I'm just throwing it out there. That's what
I ignore everybody when they ask the questions. I do. Because, and the only person I'll answer is Betty Bowles. And I always tell her, keep reading. That's all I got to say. Keep reading. Your questions will be answered. Because my thing is, why
Betty likes Kindle Vella because she reads my story too. She likes
yeah. And it's like, they want me to tell them. But if I tell you, then why you need to read it?
Exactly. Yes. Why?
So it's like, just keep reading.
Why? Just keep reading.
And with the Kindle Vella, it's coming out Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So you're gonna get it. Just a couple of. Thank you, Donna. Y'all. She said Disclosure is good with capital GOOD. So y'all go check that out.
It sounds good.
For those of you who have not read my Fiery Disciple series, my motorcycle series, which is full of drama, it's hardcore, it's gritty, it's all of that, and it's got lots and lots of sex in it that I love to write. Endgame is coming out soon, but Canon will be on sale starting Thursday, 99 cents through next week. So go check out Canon, and then I'll have a surprise for you on Thursday, and then pre-order Endgame.
When does Endgame drop again?
Endgame drops next Friday.
Okay.
On May 31st.
Okay.
But you guys can go ahead and check those out now. But there's Endgame, and he'll drop on Friday the 31st. But you can go ahead and pre-order him now, so he'll be ready for you when he drops. And those are my cozy plugs. I know I had a lot. Y'all check it out. It'll keep you busy and it'll keep you wet.
Yes, that that that. Yes, I just want to throw it out here because this is just us vibing with
Mm-hmm.
everything that's going on. How do you feel about this whole Diddy thing?
Oh, you know what?
Ah,
So, I'm always the controversial one. So, here
yes,
are cozy topics, ladies. She jumped right into it. I'm always the controversial one. So, here's what I will say. Um, I think it's bullshit on top of bullshit on top of bullshit. And if YouTube bans this, then that's what happened. And what I mean by that is, have y'all ever noticed that in an election year, we get all this stuff? We get all this stuff to take us away from what's really happening behind the scenes. And not to be funny, but we get all this stuff about our people to change the narrative. My husband watches this. I choose not to because I don't need all the negative energy in my life.
I hear
And
that.
he doesn't take it like the negative energy. He keeps me informed on what's going on. But I'm that type of person that I'm an empath. So I soak up a lot of the emotion. I can't allow that to get into me because it pulls me into a dark place. Um,
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
watch the
the
news for that
entire
reason.
music industry, period, I think all of it is, I think it's evil. I think it's a lot of darkness that goes on there. But then I say, why do you allow yourself to be drugged into that world? Because why do you stay in a situation for so long when you know it's not healthy and you know it's not been good? And all of this was going on and nobody had anything to say until there was a certain man that came out who released some information that was bigger than Diddy, but I don't want to get into all that here. That's neither here nor there, and that's not my platform. But honestly, I try to stay away from it all, and I wish everybody the best. People have had their decisions to make. You made your decisions. You lived your life. Um, Now you deal with it, good, bad, right, or wrong, however it comes. That's for her. That's for him, and all the other people that were associated with it, because it's a lot of people involved.
Oh yeah, most
Um,
definitely.
but it's to me, it's dark, it's deep, it's evil. Um, and I don't know. I really struggle with, and I know a lot of people may not agree with me, but I really struggle with how you find yourself in a bad situation and you allow yourself to remain there and not walk away. Sometimes people are like, well, they couldn't do this and they couldn't do that. I don't buy it. I absolutely don't buy it because I've known people who have been in bad situations that walked away.
I think it depends on. I'll say this too. I've not been the best when it comes to domestic violence relationships. Everybody who knows me knows I'm a therapist outside of this, and I've said that is my grandmother left my grandfather, and he's very
Mhm.
abusive. She left him when women didn't leave men. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
years ago, like the
right.
50s, and was like, I can't do it.
Yeah,
So, and she had no education to just struggling with her 5 kids, left from the house, everything. So because of the strength of my grandmother,
there
it
you
is
go.
it is hard for me in these days to be like, why do you put up with
Yeah.
it? But on the other hand, what I will say is that we live in a society that tells women we are not anything unless we have a man.
Hmm.
And I think that gets said so much that some women are so afraid to be alone. They put themselves in these
I can see
dangerous
that.
situations, or
I
they're
can
like,
see
I'm
that. But I think that's where we have to get to a place where we say, who am I? And
yeah,
not allow ourselves to be defined by a relationship or by what society says.
yeah,
Now, I say that, but even though I say that, I will say, I'll be the first one to say, it was my husband who made me the woman that I am today. I give him all credit and kudos. Why? Because when I met him, I had very low self esteem. Um, And it was from partially from my upbringing and partially from me and the choices I had made about my own life. A lot of, bad decisions and things that had me looking at myself as a failure, not a failing. Um, but or having failings, and I was not a failure. But he taught me so much about me and helped me to open up and explore all these things that I was in a bad relationship before. I walked away. Um, but my husband saw the beauty in me. He didn't focus on all the negative, and he taught me how to see that beauty as well. So I think for me, it's like, though he has built me to be the woman that I am, though he has made me strong, at the same time, he really emphasizes that I am who I am, and whether he's here or not, and God, I thank God that he is here. I still have to be who I am and cannot be defined simply by I'm in this relationship. Society says this, that, and the other.
But just think if you had a man that wasn't like him.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And I have in the past.
No. I'm saying, what if let's say, because that has happened to women, where men are very tricky. There's some men who are tricky, and you are all caught and involved. Because even though I already prefaced this with saying, my grandmother left an abusive relationship,
right,
so, or whatever. But let's say you've been alone for a long time, and finally you got this guy, and you're like, I'm excited because you've been on your own for so long, and you put up with stuff, knowing he's not the best, but you're so afraid you're not, and he's not that man who lifts you up, or at least he starts to, just to hook you, and then he slowly tears you down. And that's when and then you got to think about who you are, like you just said, like.
And I think too, to your point, my mom did the same thing.
Yeah.
She left my father. My father, was abusive on so many different levels.
Yeah.
But my mama, that feisty Aries warrior woman that she is like, no, we're not doing this.
No, look, my grandma's the Aries, so maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, my mom will be like, I might be this tiny little thing, but you put your hands on me, I'm putting my hands back on you. Yeah. That's how we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And so I have a lot of my mama in me.
Yeah.
But I think at this big age of 51, I see things different now. But I think a lot of it comes from not only from her, but again, from my husband. So I don't know, like to say, okay, God forbid something happens to him and he's not here and it's years down the road, and then I find myself in that situation, what would I do? I want to believe strongly, because of what I've seen, because of what I've gone through, and because of what I've been taught, that I would not stand around and deal with that. I
don't think you would now, because you've had such a great love. I'm just saying, like, what if you never met him when you were like 20 something, and the next guy wasn't good?
I still don't know that I would, because again, I was in, I was in my very, very early 20s, and I was like, oh no, this is not what we do.
No, I get you.
That's not the example my mama set for me, So
yeah.
I
just really think
she says she was in one with an older man. She says she left the last time he punched her.
And I do. This is why I do want to, even though we write love stories and love, I really do want women to not feel like they're nothing without, especially if you're like me, who's never been married, and it can't play on. You can play on your ego, it can play on who you are as a woman. But there's so much peace in being single than being in a crazy relationship or an abusive relationship. And so I think the more that we talk about it or preach about it and not look at it like, oh, I don't want to be her. I don't want to be the older woman who never been married, so I'll do whatever, as opposed to celebrating that woman who made good choices not to be in crazy or bad relationships.
My husband always says, you cannot put a price on a peace of mind.
You cannot.
And
I agree.
Erica says every situation is different, and not all women have the strength to walk away when the abuse first happens. For some, it takes years, and they have to work to build themselves up to leave.
I agree with that.
And I get that, but I don't know.
I do. I get it. I mean, that's what I said. I'm not.
It's not love.
It's funny because, Jennifer said I've never been married either. Yeah. So, when and now I'm being asked to, because what's happening now isn't well, okay. It's never not happened, but there are
Mhm,
a lot of young women who are in abusive relationships now.
mhm.
And so one of the charges I'm having at Prairie View, where I teach, they're like they want to start this program to help intervene with domestic violence because there are so many young women there, and they're saying they don't even realize it's their boyfriend or significant other is being violent toward them, and it starts with emotional abuse.
Mhm, mhm.
Like this, I don't want, like just ignoring you, don't want to talk to you, and that kind of stuff, and it bothers you, and it start, they're doing little things that they're not, and sometimes it's just people being young, and then sometimes it really does build into domestic violence, and so that actually is one of the challenges that I've been, because I've never been good with domestic violence victims. Now, of course, I've worked with people who, as we're talking and as we're, just they're coming for something else, and then it might come up, they're in an abusive relationship. And I have one woman now who's been in the same one for years, and she doesn't want to talk about it, so we don't. We focus on other issues because in her mind, she's not leaving them, and that's just something that as we know
And
that's the
that's
decision she has
heartbreaking.
made.
That is so heartbreaking to me because, and I don't even want to say you got to love yourself more. I believe they do love themselves, but for whatever reason, somehow, somewhere along the line, they weren't built that strong. Something wasn't poured into them enough that they feel like they have to accept this, or that they feel like this is the only way. Whether it be that, he takes care of them financially and they don't have any income coming in or any skill set. But to Donna's point, they do need to have that support system. They do need to have that role model. I
That's
think even
true.
with what you were saying when you just mentioned, that they want you to do that. It's beautiful that you recognize I've not been good with them historically, but
Yeah,
maybe this might be an alternative where you can open up something new and something different. And you might learn a lot about yourself in the process, as well as,
sure.
just learn from them, because I believe that everybody can learn from somebody. Ruby says some believe it's love, and I'm glad
Oh,
she
for
said that
sure,
because I was
they
getting
do.
ready to say, to your point when you were talking about them being young. I remember being 18 and 19 and having friends around me who were like, "But he loves me though." And there was one girl in particular that really believed it wasn't love unless he put his hands on her, and it is crazy. Um, I'm sorry, y'all. I keep pausing because I keep reading the comments that
Yeah,
are
it's just
high.
it's
Erica
just
says it's hard to put yourselves in other people's shoes when it comes to DV. When we can say we'd never stay, but when you're in that situation and you're slowly caught up until it's too late. Now I can say I would not stay, and I can honestly say that because I have been in that situation and I did not stay. So I think to your point, yeah, everybody is different. Everybody is different. Everybody have their different walks, but that's where your strength comes in. That's where your support system comes in, and you and I can't even say support system because some people have had a good support system
and some people
that
don't. I
will
mean,
not leave. She
yeah,
will
because
not,
this,
even though
yeah,
she's
this,
got people there like I got you, and they
yeah, you can leave. They still, yeah, because the woman I'm talking about, she has a very strong support
yeah,
system, and
there's
he
something
doesn't even take care of her financially.
at
She
them.
just believes in having a man. That's just it.
Hmm.
And until I believe she
Hmm.
would leave him if she found another man. Like she can't be by herself. She has to go from man to man. I know in my heart, if she finds somebody else, she will leave the abusive man. But because she doesn't, she sticks
And
with
some
him.
people, yeah, some
That's
people that
exactly how she
is
sees it.
hard to be alone. And
Yeah.
and in that point, I could say I can't speak from that. I don't know. Because full transparency, I've been with my husband since I was 22 years old. I'm 51 now. I don't know what that's like. I went through, relationships before him, at a younger age, but he's been there all of my adult life. So yeah, I don't know it from that standpoint. But there again,
It's a tough.
that's a hard one.
It's a,
It,
and
it,
I
it
agree.
is. It
And I
is.
agree with what E.L. George is saying in terms of uh yeah, because people will say that I'll never do that and I'll never, if it was me. And you're right. Sometimes you don't know. I try hard not to say that when someone is telling me something they've been through, to be like, oh girl, I would have done this if it was me, or I would have, because you really don't know. Even if you did it in the past, doesn't mean you won't do it in the present. You know what I mean? Like, so I try my best, because it does come across like you're being judgmental when you say I would never do this, or it couldn't be me. And I'm not speaking to you, Cass. I'm saying in general, when people or saying
Yeah.
something bad happened to them, and your reaction is, "Girl, I would have done this if it was me," or "I would have done this," instead of really listening to what that person is saying.
So yeah, and I think
With them.
what Ruby says, some believe a piece of man is better than no man.
Wasn't that Betty Wright?
That's my grandmama. My
Wasn't that Betty
grandmama
Wright?
says it all the time. I think so. My grandmama used to always say that. But another thought that I have about that is, so for me, because I'm kind of a loner anyway, and all I really want to do is be writing and read it and listen to my music and on chill. If I ain't got that man, Mr. V, I'm all right. I really want to believe I'm all right because I'm okay in my own head and in my own space. I've never, and I think that's one of the things that he told me early on that he loved about me. I don't need a lot of attention. He's like, I could be sitting in the middle of a party in a corner on a couch with a book and I'm happy. I don't need a lot. So, God knows I don't want to lose my husband. Don't want nothing to happen to him, but I'm okay. Whew. That's a hard one. And it's hard because it makes me, it does something to me emotionally because it breaks my heart. Because on that same token, as we talk about women, there are men out there who have been physically abused.
Oh, yes, of course.
And people don't talk about that.
Yeah. No, they don't. And they don't because one is embarrassing because people will say, you could just leave, like you're stronger. But there are men who really believe I can't hit a woman. Like that's just their fundamental belief that I will
because
not.
They've been raised that way, and society says it's not okay.
Yeah, and so they won't. And bottom line is, this is why I tell, like, especially young women, I was like, don't hit him, because I know sometimes you get mad and you hit him. I was like, you might hit him in a certain way that he'll hit back. Not that he means to, or not that he's violent, but I remember it was
natural reaction.
Yeah, I remember in college, like we were all outside, like chatting and laughing, and one of my friends, her boyfriend, he was a football player, so he probably was cheating. I'm just saying that's, he was all like 19, 20, so I'm sure he was. And she was, so she was getting on his case about something in front of us, like just fussing. And he was just kind of doing like, almost like, I don't care, like just being nonchalant. And she hauled off and slapped him. As soon as she slapped him, she was like, and took off running. He laughed so hard. Just his expression. Now he did look like he was about to pop her. He did, but then because she looked so scared and ran off, he could do nothing but laugh. She was gone.
But don't tempt them. Don't tempt them like that. Yeah,
don't do it
because and our strength is nothing compared to a man's strength.
Exactly.
So don't even
ain't nothing.
That situation.
Ain't nothing. I ain't trying to hit it because I don't want to come back. I don't want to come back hit me.
Right.
I don't like pain. Like I'm like the biggest cow. I don't like pain.
Now I have another. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just reading what Donna said. There's something within themselves from the past and the environment. I agree. Most definitely. Known or unknown result in the person staying. Most definitely. Most definitely.
So, next topic. Negative reviews. I saw a post yesterday, I believe it was. I saw a post that said Colleen Hoover hasn't written for a while because of the negative reviews they started getting to her. And apparently her friends continue to send her pictures because they think she'll find these reviews funny. So two things. And I want to hear from the audience too, as y'all have been, chiming in. One, would you share something negative that others were saying about your friend? Like if you were out on social media and saw this, would you share it with your friend?
Is that, well, that's one, I wouldn't, but is that true? Is that what she said, or that's what people are speculating?
I saw a post. I haven't seen it from her, but I saw a post.
Oh, okay.
And so with that being said,
no.
But it got me to thinking, because on it was like, well, girl, on the post, it was like, well, girl, those are not your friends anyway. But it made me think, like, would you, if you saw something or heard someone saying something about your friends and it was negative, would you tell them and just trying to give them a heads up?
I mean, I wouldn't share it with them. I would just tell them. I can see seeing it is a different thing, but saying this is something, well, it depends. Like if it's just negative views about my books, I don't think no one has to tell me that, because that's different from me. If it's about me, that's something different. But if it's about my books, I'm like, it's my baby. I take it personal, but I'm not going to expect my friends to point out or share with me, unless it's like grammar issue, something I can change. You know, they're like, you need to go back in that book because look like there's
Yeah.
some, like that. Yeah, but not just they didn't person didn't like my book or whatever reason. So no, I not just actually nah.
And then alternatively, Reese's Pieces Lover 19 says, I wouldn't want to hurt my friend. Jennifer
Yeah.
said she saw the same post.
Okay.
Now, alternatively, audience, let me ask you all this. What is your position on negative reviews? Should readers be allowed to write what they feel, or should they refrain from writing something that may impact the writer or other readers who read the reviews? What are y'all thoughts on that? And then, Ty, your thoughts as well. Well, I kind of want you to hold off, Ty, only because I feel like when we put our opinion out, it may or may not influence or sway
I
the
agree.
popular opinion out there.
I agree.
So I want to hear from y'all first.
No, that makes sense.
Would you share something that, what is your position on negative reviews? Should the readers be allowed to write whatever they feel, or should they refrain from writing something that may have a negative impact on the writer or the other readers? Erica says, people have become so bold with social media. They attack the person versus critiquing the book.
I'm sorry. My bad.
I may tell them about something that was said, but wouldn't show it to them thinking that would help. That's pretty much like what you said.
Yeah.
Ruby says, I'm not going to do a negative review. Okay. Reese's Pieces Lover. I feel like if you're going to review below 3 stars, just don't review it, especially if it's just plain hateful. Okay. Anybody else before we jump into it? Because this is what, we can go to town on all day and night. If I don't like the book, I'm not going to do a review. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'll okay, somebody else. Okay. If it can be done in a positive, constructive manner, yes.
Okay.
I don't do bad reviews.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. As an author,
y'all saw that? Yeah. She had to look all up. She's like, yeah.
Yeah, I do. First of all, I do agree people have the right to post their reviews. But yeah, it's one of the hardest things for me is a review, especially if sometimes I feel like, are you just hating? Like, honestly, I do feel that way. Like, you saw I had nothing but 5s and 4s. You got to put a 2 in there or a 1, especially if there's no reason behind it, just a 1 or a 2. And then I'm sitting
waiting and no review.
No review. I'm sitting there like, did you just I got to mess up her score?
You just trolling. You just trolling.
But at the same time, no, it's just one of those things that's a part of it, because reviews are very important. People do look at them, whether they actually read it or they just looking at how many you have. Reviews are very important. And honestly, I'm like, as a reader, I don't, even before I was a writer, I would never leave a bad review, just because I always felt like just because that's my opinion doesn't mean that's yours. Mm-hmm. And I have read books that people I love, and person like, it was all right, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. So I love 50 Shades of Grey, but I have so many people who hate that book, but I loved it. So just based on, just the differences I had with people, I'm like, I don't want to stop somebody else who might enjoy this story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, another one real quick before you start. When the movie that came out on Amazon recently, The Idea of You, it was written by Robin Lee. I met her. This is an actress. She's a Black woman. Her movie is about, 40-year-old white woman who falls for a 24-year-old, rock star who's supposed to be based on One Direction, the lead of One Direction. And I met her 7 years ago when I was contemplating writing. I met her in 2017.
I saw your comment on that post.
Yeah. And she talked about how hard it was to write. She wanted to write first a Black book, then interracial, because she's in an interracial relationship. And everyone kept saying no one's going to be interested in a Black woman being the character. So then I'm going to write another book, and she, and the characters are white. Mm-hmm. Now her, this is 7 years later. She only wrote this one book, even though she says she has all these ideas in her head. It is number one movie on Amazon, and I mean on Amazon Prime as a movie with and and I'm reading the reviews. I read it and I enjoyed it back then when I read it, and I'm seeing like the ones and the twos, and I'm like, oh, y'all just hating because she got the number one book now because of the movie. The book is now number one, and it didn't, and it wasn't. It went viral on Book Top. Like even though she wrote it 7 years ago, it didn't become popular. I think until about 2 years ago.
Oh wow!
And just to to see I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was, especially if you like, I like younger men. So of course I was like, that's right up my alley. Then I read the book and then I met the author and know her journey. So it was very fulfilling to me to see her on this other end. I'm sorry, I just had to say that about how reviews can if you just went by her reviews, a movie never would have been made based on her reviews.
I think everyone is entitled to share and express their opinion. However, I feel as if everyone has a responsibility to do it in the most positive and productive way as possible. If you're going to leave the review, perfectly fine. But don't leave a review because, so transparency. Some years ago, in my other pen name, I had all these good reviews on a book, and then I got a 2 on a book. And I got the 2 because the person said, I thought this was a Christian fiction book. I don't know why she thought it was a Christian fiction book. I've never written Christian fiction, but she assumed it was, and it was too much sex in the book. And so she gave it a 2. I don't feel like that was a reason for you to give it a 2. You can give it a 2 if, there wasn't any full character development. If it was, we had bad grammar, if, there was, just all these different errors and things like that. Give it a 2, but because it had too much sex and you thought it was Christian fiction. So things like that, I feel like you're entitled to your opinion, but don't rate it because of something.
It's just not your cup of tea.
Yeah.
It's not
right. And that's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, if it's not doing anything to improve the writer as a whole, and that we can look in there and get some honest feedback and say, okay, they could critique me on this, so I need to go back and address it, then don't. And if you just didn't like it, because I've seen a lot of books out there that I just didn't like, and just don't leave a review because you just didn't like it and, don't have anything positive to say. But I don't feel like you should just go out and just put something out there because
yes,
the book was black. The book was black and yellow, and I was feeling red and blue today, or whatever.
And that's the thing, because we do live in a world where people can, hide behind, the screen. No one knows who they are, so people can be very, cruel and mean. And I think, me and you are very empathetic, and we actually try to put ourselves in other people's shoes, but a lot of us in this world are not. So they're like, get this one. Get this, they like
with no review, just leaving a number. So I just and I know we don't have any of those people in our show because they awesome. Y'all are also awesome. But
I mean, y'all awesome to us. Like, I don't know what y'all do with other authors, but I would say y'all awesome with that.
But I mean, in all honesty, if there is something that you can look at and say this needs improvement, then by all means, go ahead and share that. That is perfectly fine. But just don't put nasty, mean, evil stuff out there because you ain't got nothing better to do. Or
this one up, but I want to. I rarely write negative reviews unless it's just absolutely horrible. Then I say, why? But not be nasty about it. There's a way to without being hurtful.
Exactly.
Of course. Exactly. I agree with that. Definitely agree with that.
Exactly.
And Donna said, if it also depends on your relationship with the author. You can reach out personally. Yeah. If you, especially for a lot of our indie authors, you can usually reach out directly and say, what about this? And the same thing. For me, it's more about if it's grammar stuff, or I can make it a little better. But if it's just like, that's not your cup of tea, then that's a different thing you're telling me, because I get it. I might write a story that you're like, I'm not really feeling it. But if the story itself is good, You know, if you think
It
the
was
story
like,
itself is good, it's
take
fine.
Ruby, for instance. Ruby, long time ago, she would read my books and then she said, hey, and she'd just hop in my email and send me an email about something she might have caught, or whatever.
I've had that,
But
yeah.
she never goes out there and just throw it all out on Amazon. She'll give me a chance to address it and go and, correct it and do what I need to do, which I greatly appreciate it. But yeah, all the
Yeah,
other stuff is just a bit extra. I'd be thinking somebody didn't get a hug from their mama today. And I'm going to leave it there. Next up, stylist tips. Ladies, y'all know we love our hair. So my question with that, I had a whole, that's for another show. I had a whole issue this weekend when I went to the stylist. Had nothing to do with nothing. But when you go to get your hair, whether you get it, your sew-ins or your braids or whatever you do you tip your stylist? And approximately how much do you tip your stylist?
I always tip my stylist.
And if you don't like what they did, do you tip your stylist?
To me, I've been with the same stylist forever. So even if I don't like her style, she still gets tips. Most of the time, I love what she does. But there have been times where I'm like, but with that said, because she's been my stylist, it's very seldom that she's done something I ain't like. I give I tip. I do. You have to be. I tip generally anyway. You have to really be like just mean to me for me not to leave a tip. Like if you're just indifferent, you get a basic tip. If you're really good, you get an extra one. So yeah.
Was having these conversations with some people, and it was just said, well, I don't tip because I'm already paying you these, exorbitant rates, and they always complaining that Atlanta, especially our braiding stylists, are
Ooh, yeah, y'all kind of high.
They are. Well, and I will tell you, my stylist, I've lived in my home for 18 years now, and I've been going to her for 15 years. If she doesn't braid my hair, then my daughter braids my hair. But my daughter, she is over me because she says my hair is too thick and she hates sitting down doing it. So she always sends me away. Rosalind says minimum 20%. Okay. But Donna says for the most part, yes. But she went from, so like for instance, if I get a twist style like I got it roughly, we went from 160 to 220. So we do have those jumps, but I couldn't be mad because she was actually on the lower end of what stylists charge in Atlanta.
No, braids are expensive, so yeah, that is on the low end.
But somebody found out that there was a jump. And they found out at the last minute, and they didn't feel like they had to tip. And I just feel differently about that.
If you haven't prepared,
well, yeah, I can see that. But sometimes there's a way to do things. You know what I mean? Like you can have a conversation rather than being just full of complaints and things like that. Brosnan said, "Wow, expensive." It is in Atlanta. A lot
that's Houston prices for braiding. Yeah, that's. But I have a daughter, so sometimes I'm like, I'm just gonna go roughheaded for a minute because she's playing for me and her. I'm like,
well, I keep my hair braided because I don't like dealing with it, and I'm natural, and it's thick. And
no, it is. It's hard to deal with natural hair.
And I always say my hair is like back to the motherland. My hair is like, hell no, we won't go. And my stylists, they're called Motherland braiding, which is super funny. So there's the two people on my head at all times. But I just feel like with them standing up for the number of hours that they're standing up on their feet, got it, like my back would be killing me. And then you have to deal with all that and you just going. And it's like, they're not getting breaks like that. They're not getting these breaks to go sit down and have lunch and things like that, like we're doing at work. I feel like, why not? Okay, yeah, I'm paying you to do my hair, but I'm actually paying the establishment. You're getting paid out of that, but you're not getting paid that whole amount.
Yeah.
And That's my thing.
I think it's just one of those things for me. Is like if the stylist informed you ahead of time, then you should plan for it. But sometimes some stylists you get there and they'll change the price on you, like what? And you like,
now if you're caught off guard, that's one thing. But again, there is a way to do it rather than I ain't doing nothing because you don't have to have an attitude about it if you don't have it or you didn't plan for it. Express it in a positive way, like you do your reviews, and keep it moving. I just had to throw that in there. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You can there's definitely ways to handle it. But yeah, it is one of those where I'm like, because it's in me not to leave a tip. I've had situations where I'm like, I did not expect to pay this much. Okay, so I'm still gonna give it this tip, even though I'm like, I don't do 20% for that reason.
Yeah,
I typically just give more. Like I usually give between $10 to $20 over what the cost is because I have been surprised, and there's times I really 20%. If your hair end up costing $250 and you didn't plan to pay but $190 or $180, that's a big. You talking about
that is
like $100. That's almost double what you. So that's why I tip 20% at restaurants because you know exactly what you want.
Right, absolutely.
So when it gets to my hair, it's just because beauticians hardly ever list their prices anymore. You know, it's like. So how much some do? I'm not gonna say it, but then even when they do, it says start at, and so you like, where am I on this starting at?
So I have not been to a salon to get my hair done in forever, and the reason being because I got my daughter again. She does my hair. If I'm not wearing braids, she does my hair. But I have learned, and this was not a thing when I was getting my hair done in the salons, but I've learned that now you have to pay a deposit. You have to schedule it online. And then there's some other things that go along with it. I think like sometimes they don't even give you an address until it's time for you to come and all this stuff. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what is going on?
It's a lot. And they want you to wash your own hair.
Oh my God. That is crazy. Like, I don't even know about those kind of, I don't know about those.
And I think a lot of it, and I get it to some point, after having my own practice and having people no show. So I get it because you are dependent on, especially again, if you're a contractor, all your money comes from customers. And people notoriously for like, book me for 5 o'clock and then they don't show. And you could have seen someone. So I get the whole notion of why they want deposits now. The address part, I know some of the safety reasons I get, but it is weird. It is a lot more rules nowadays since then. And it is wild. Like I said, I've been going to my same stylist, so I don't have to pay a deposit, but I have gone to like a new braider for my daughter and they'll be like, can you pay this deposit? And I get it. And I'm like, that's fine because I plan to go, so that's fine.
Well, I saw a TikTok video where a lady was talking about that. She said, and then when she get to the address, it's in her apartment, and the girl and her boyfriend was fussing and arguing the whole time. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, I feel like the internet and COVID has given people a reason to be ridiculous. They just out there doing whatever they want to do now. Just crazy. Yeah, no, so it is. I was saying with the lady I went to.
It's convenient. I've had a braider. Like I have a stylist who, who rinses my hair and straightens it, and then I have a braider who comes to my house, and it does make it very convenient. I don't have to go anywhere. I can come from my home, especially because it takes at least 5-6 hours to braid my hair. So I actually like that she's very mobile. She doesn't have a shop or anything.
Right.
And I've gone to her house like once, and I think she just preferred, just to come to whoever house she's seeing. It's a different world. It is. It's a different world out here in terms of getting your hair done. And us black women and their hair is something very sacred.
And y'all, I am for real, because I don't let just anybody do my hair. Like I don't want anybody to do my braids. My granddaughter does braids now and she does an amazing job, but I won't let her do my hair. There is 2 people whose hands are in my hair. My braiders, well, 3 people. My 2 of my favorite braiders there and my daughter. And that's it. Other than that, I'm not letting anybody touch my hair like that. Last of all, I got a little something for Ty.
Move your back against the wall, girl. Don't be afraid, won't let you fall, girl. No, no, no. You don't have to feel no pressure. undressed, girl. Go ahead and get undressed, girl. We can do it all the night, and I promise you I will make it sweet. My name.
All right.
I'm
Quick and easy.
shaking my head.
And you ladies, drop your comments in. Don't start, Ruby and Tony. Drop your comments. Y'all got to answer this too.
No,
Ty
they
is not
know.
the only one on the hot seat.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
I
you.
wasn't saying that they got to drop their questions to you. I'm saying they got to answer too. If this is for
No,
y'all.
I know what you meant. I know what you meant. Yeah.
Okay. Foreplay or quickie?
Quickie.
Drunk, passionate sex or slow love making?
I don't really like drunk sex, but I like the fast part. So can you have a combination?
Oh my God.
I'm just saying, it's a combo. I want the fast part, but not the drunk. Is that possible? Drunk to me doesn't do anything for me. It's like I actually, anyway. But go ahead. I like to be fully aware of my senses.
So this comes from, because I'm still reading 420 Bay, and y'all, it's taken me a while to get through those, only because I had to stop for a while and work on my edits for my my book that I'll be traditionally publishing next year. So I had to stop all reading, and then I also had to get ready for Endgame, but I've picked back up reading again. So I'm back in it, and I just started AC's book today. Just finished Kimmy's yesterday. I'm loving this series, y'all. If y'all have not checked it out, go get it. I was gonna read Ty's first because I always love Ty's writing, but I jumped back in it and I said, okay, your book is
last. I'm the last.
So I said, I'm gonna save it for last. I started reading it, but I said, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. But anyway, this next question is just inspired by that. That I prefaced
by
saying, weed and sex or wine and sex?
Weed and sex.
Yeah. Okay, you're teaching an online course on sex, romance, and love. What's the title of your course?
Sex, romance, and love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna get her to teach this course.
I've taught sex ed before to college students. I have. Well, I taught psychology of sexuality before. Yeah, I have. I probably would say, look, I'm being fun. This is how we do it.
Oh, I like that. So now it's all in my head. Yeah. Tony says wine and sex. Donna says wine and sex. Ronnie says wine and sex. I'm wine and sex as well.
Again, alcohol and sex don't go for me. Alcohol and sex don't go. Even wine.
Okay. Sexting or FaceTime sex? I wish you could have seen your own face.
I know. Probably sexting.
Okay. Morning wake up or afternoon delight?
Ew.
Yeah.
I'll probably say afternoon delight.
Yeah, I like that too. As it relates to being in a relationship, Ty, what brings you happiness?
It's a good question. Ooh, what would probably just someone who will make me laugh. I would say that. If you keep me laughing, I'm good.
That's cool. That's always a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. That is always a beautiful thing, especially when rough times come.
Oh yeah, if you can laugh through the craziness, then yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you could have sex with Ruby said morning. If she want to be woken up with it, she like, let's get the day started on the right foot.
I ain't mad at you.
Okay, now I'm really
intimacy. I like that.
That's good. That. That's real good, Donna.
Donna, I'm going to have to use that one. If you see it in one of my books, you'll know where it came from.
Make sure you throw credit to her in the back of the book.
Yes, laugh. Jennifer said someone that gets me. I like that too.
Okay, everybody. if you could have sex with any famous person, who would it be? Come on, Ty. She already know. Look at her, y'all.
It's
Look
Michael
at
B.
her.
Jordan for me. I've always loved Michael
her.
B. Jordan. So
Who?
whatever. That's me.
Who?
Michael B. Jordan. Always loved him.
Oh, yeah, you are crazy. I forgot about the whole big old doggone poster in your house.
Yes. That my friends gave me as a joke for had me scared, think I had a real man in my room. I was scared. And it was like, oh, now look, it's a big life-size picture of Michael B. Jordan.
That's hilarious. And then let's
No one's
see.
answered yet. So they stay thinking about it. They processing. Look, I think Ruby, I think I know who you would say. You that guy from Chicago Fire. You because you're the one that hooked me on to him.
Not Fire, PD.
PD.
Yeah, because
Right.
me and her always talk about him. He is everything. His name is Leroyce Hawkins. Erica says Johnny Depp.
He used to be. He was my first white boy crush. Johnny Depp, 21 Jump Street was like, oh my
Everybody
God.
used to love him back then.
Oh my God. Yes.
Lots
Keanu
of-
Reeves. I don't know who Ed Quinn is. I gotta look him up because he probably
Yeah, I don't know him either.
Keanu Reeves. Yes. I love
Yep.
his surfer. Leroyce is fine.
Leroyce Hawkins.
Like I said, you got me.
Baby
you
that
got
water.
him.
Mhm.
Denzel, like Mo Better Blues. Denzel. Mm-mm-mm. Mine too. Yeah, me and EL, we're on the same page. What about you? Who would be for you?
That's what I said. That's how I knew who Ruby was talking about because I'm always saying him.
Oh, so you
Leroyce
agree
Hawkins.
with him? Okay.
Tyler Perry's the Oval President. He
I have to admit, because I don't watch the show. I have to go back and see the Fire
Chief from Chicago. Yes, I like him.
I think I've seen him before, though. If I
like
think it's
him.
who I think
Yeah,
it is, then
that's a good
he is.
That's
Like,
a good one.
I like
Okay. Why do you think people find polyamorous relationships attractive? Tony said Janelle ain't found nobody nasty enough.
You don't know if they like behind closed doors. I can't say that. Tony, you don't know what they like behind closed doors. They
We
might
love
be,
Janelle.
they might be nasty. What was the question? I'm sorry. You asked me.
Why do you think people find polyamorous relationships attractive?
I actually interviewed a woman once who was in a poly, and it made so much sense. She was like, because in the way that she said it was like, it just feels good to know that you don't have to ever restrain yourself. That if you see somebody that's interesting, that's nice looking, that's attractive, that you have the permission from your significant other or spouses or however you want to call it, to just be, is so freeing. And the way that she described it, it did seem very freeing because she's like, and there's less hurt, there's less people, because monogamy is very hard. And so people have cheated and destroyed trust and relationships, even though they never want to leave that person, even though they want to stay with that person. But because the trust is not there anymore, it just makes it hard to go from that. But if you were accepting, and this is we out here doing our thing, we're accepting them, we know this is what's happening. So that's what I get from why people are fascinated with it, because that is, something to be options, as Donna Clark says, options.
You always see the uptick in, like, everybody is crazy about the reverse harem books and everything, and they go really crazy over it. And so, yeah, Chief Bowden, that's his name. Okay. But everybody everybody goes crazy over all these books. So I just really wanted to hear it from your POV, Dr. Love. So, women often ask the question what a man is bringing to the table, but I seldom hear women talk about what they have to offer a man beyond themselves. In my opinion, we both equally need to bring something into the relationship. What do you consider your strengths in a relationship? This is for everybody. Oh, wait, what's she saying about, I was just about to say
too much
romance.
sharing for Tony. Janelle says, Janelle, on the other hand, said, I'll take a look at it. I was just about to say romance novels. Interesting to read about, but not sure I can do. There's so much time for me to give them all to one person, let alone multiples. I can see that, but most of the time, polyamorous often it really is about sex. Sometimes it's deeper, but often it's like I just want to f them, and they do. But you're right. If it is like a true relationship, then yeah, that is a lot. Loyalty. Wait. Oh Lord, I forgot the question. What was the question?
The one I asked you?
You asked the group.
Yeah, what do you consider your strengths in a relationship? Everybody can drop their answers.
Yeah, she said loyalty.
Okay. Okay.
I bring me to the relationship.
See, and that's the problem. That is the problem right there. Because, so what about you that's strong? What about you would make a man say, this is a good thing for me? That's the question. Not just me, because we could easily say me, but I feel like that's us getting off keel. Like we're not really, you're taking the easy way out. Loyalty and respect.
I mean, I kind of get what Donna's saying too, because I just personally think I'm a good person, a good woman. I think any man would be lucky to have me. I can't put it into words. Like I can go down the list: loyalty, respect, love, sex, love. I mean, I could. Is your helpmate? However you want to put it. Like it's just one of those things that I don't necessarily think say it out loud. I just think if you spend enough time with me, you get it.
Okay.
So I can kind of, if that's what Donna kind of means in that, then I get it. Because sometimes it is hard just to put into words. She said Janelle brings the nasty.
I like that.
My compassion.
Compassion. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. It's my compassion. And hopefully you meet your match. You won't take advantage of your compassion, because that's the thing too. Sometimes when you're very compassionate and caring and empathetic and all those wonderful fluffy things, you encounter people who don't really appreciate that.
And they'll take it as a weakness.
Take it as a weakness, and not just that's just who you are. It's not being weak. It's just.
Here we go, Donna. Thank you. I bring you a place to feel safe. My heart is your home, and I will give you the air in your lungs and under your wings to soar. Okay.
She was very poetic with it.
She went there.
Are you a secret writer or something? Because that's just like something
that hits me the most is I bring you a place to feel safe. I love that. Because I think we all need that safe place, a place where we are free to be who we are, including our weaknesses and our flaws. And I think we're so busy, especially when you first go into a relationship, you're so busy trying to put on and make somebody think that you are, that you appear to be, that you're something that you're really not. You're just trying to put on these appearances because you want to attract them. You want to pull them in, and you really want to convince them that you're the best thing, since sliced bread. But sometimes we don't show the other side of us. And then not only just in relationships, even when you're out there in the world, you're so busy trying to be strong, so busy trying to emanate this professional aura or this strong aura or this whatever it is you're trying to put out there, that you really don't have a chance to deal with the other stuff. And if you have someone who allows you to come in and deal with that other stuff, that's a beautiful thing.
It is. You don't find it often, because what I find is when I am myself, it turns men off, because I think men want to feel a certain way. And
you're a very strong person.
Yeah. But no. I'm strong with friends, but I'm very nice and humble. They want that feisty woman. I'm not feisty. I think men love feisty women. I'm not feisty unless we're in an argument because I'm like, I feel what Jennifer is saying. Like, I'm very compassionate, very loving, and I found men have taken advantage of that. So I feel what she is saying. I don't like, I choose to trust everybody. So I don't go in think you can't trust me. I go in being myself. I don't go in, being like, I hate to tell people what I do, because I think sometimes it intimidates people. So I try to take that off the table. And what I find, my friends who lie about who they are end up with men than the ones who, like myself, who are honest. So for me, I'm like, I don't know what men really looking for, because I've seen my friends play games and they'll tell me, you need to do this, you need to do that. and they end up with someone. So then I'm like, well, maybe I should be doing. I can't because it's not who I am.
That's you. Yeah.
But I see people who end up, and they have decent men. These are not like trifling men. It's like, so I have not found that person.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I feel like if I played the games, I might be missing somebody.
But then if you play the games, he's not
guy.
really attracted to who you are. He's attracted to something
I
else.
hear you, but because I have friends who've been married and have very good relationships, I don't know. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest just noticing when I'm looking at, people, and they'll tell me, they're like, you got to be like this. You got to be like that. And how can I argue when they have a long-term relationship and I don't? You know what I mean? So it is like, it's just, I haven't found that. I'll say
I
that.
can see you struggling with that because you are who you are.
Yeah.
You are unapologetically who you are. I love that about you, though. I want to be, yes,
I like it. I like it.
That I want to be for you what I want you to be for me.
I like that. Yeah, we'll have to start writing some books. Okay.
The last one. Finish this sentence. I walked into the blank and saw blank doing blank to blank, so I blank.
I finished this. I'm glad you got that verbally, because if you had,
got this so you can read it up.
I would have been like, no idea.
I started doing that because I got to thinking. I said, people are not going to be able to retain that in their head like that.
Not these days. I walked into the parlor and saw my husband doing I want to say like jerking off, I guess. Doing I can't. I guess I can't. Maybe I got to change it so it can flow what you just said. Okay, I walked. I walked into the hallway and saw this guy doing cunning. I never could say that word. You know what I'm trying to say. Cunnilingus. Cunnilingus. Thank you. To a woman. So I asked him to do me.
Well, all righty then. Oh, oops. All right, there y'all have it.
Yeah.
I really didn't leave us any time to read. We've been talking.
Yes, it's been good. It's been good. It's been good talk. It's been good talk. I'm hoping people are responding, so I'm hoping they enjoy when it's just us two, because I know this is y'all do know this is what me and Cassie do sometimes outside of this camera. So
we sit and talk, and that was the funny part about it when we were talking about the whole podcast and everything, even before we decided to bring other authors on. It was just like she and I would just sit and kick it about life topics. And it was just like, we talk about everything from A to Z. Let's do it with the ladies. And it's like, it's like sitting in our living rooms, just kicking it. Excuse me, but we get to kick it with you ladies. And oh my gosh, if y'all are in Nashville, Donna and Veronica's supposed to be there. I heard. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on with me. But we don't know, we don't have all the details, but somehow, some way, even if we don't do it at the show, we're going to do a show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the live shows are fun. We only did one. I said shows.
Sometimes we do this when it feels live, even though we're not. So I get it.
Donna, we do this once a month.
We do.
We do it once a month. We do 2 shows a month, one with the authors and one with just Ty and I and you guys. Y'all are our special guests on these shows. Oh, Ruby's not going to be able to make it to that one.
I'm shaking my head, Ruby. You know, you were our go-to person. You
Yeah.
were the one that tracked Cassie down when she wasn't there for our team.
Ruby, y'all, was the
She was
first
the one that
person
helped
I
us
saw
advance
at
to the
One
next
Love. He
round.
was the very first person. And my husband and I, we were coming back from somewhere, I think we were coming back to the hotel from somewhere. And she was just standing there with her hands on her hips with her AKA t-shirt on, because you know she represents. And just stand, and I was like, Ruby, that was beautiful. I hate that you're not going to be there, though. I'm
I
really
know. I know. That was the first time I got a chance to meet Ruby as well. And so,
yeah,
and you. So,
Ruby is like favorite auntie vibes. That's who Ruby is.
she's
Ruby
just
is
cool.
favorite.
Like she's just like cool and laid back. Like just cool,
She is.
cool vibe. Very helpful. Very just all around good person. So you could just see her goodness. You know, just
Beautiful spirit and soul.
sweeps. I mean, what do you call it? Like pours through her. I can write, but sometimes I can't talk, y'all. But
I have the same problem. I had the same problem for real. I really do. And not good at communicating with people when I get upset about things, but I can write it down and tell you how I feel.
yeah.
Oh, she said they're opening a new school. Okay.
Nice. Okay. You got that's very good reason for you not to join us with our cowboy hats and diamonds.
Yeah.
For denim and diamond night.
Yeah. Now, Ty she's the good one. She behaves. Ruby says she's her nieces and nephews' favorite auntie. I'm the one that Ruby has to pull my coattails and check, because I'm gonna do the stuff. I'm gonna do the shit. I'm gonna do it. I'm like the bad little kid that I just can't help myself. I just got to do it.
Yes.
Y'all, I'm on sugar tonight. Y'all gotta excuse me. Anywho, we will read next time. I apologize because we have kept you ladies for a long, long time, and we both need to eat. We will read next time, but we want to make sure that you guys go out. And when did you say your books were dropping again?
Friday.
This Friday.
Mm-hmm. And yours drop next Friday.
Yep. So y'all go out to Amazon, go ahead, do the pre-orders, pick them up, support your girls. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And Veronica said they're going to encourage me.
You don't have to do much. I'm just telling y'all now.
Those two and the shenanigans. I love them. I love those two. But come back in 2 weeks, where we will be having a show and chatting one-on-one with Arthur Kimberly Brown. Make sure that, and we have been going down that list because we ask you ladies for a list of people that y'all like to see on the show.
Yep.
So that's where, our next guests are coming from. Kimberly Brown was one of the first ones. So we'll be, bringing some other surprise people on here for you ladies. But come back in 2 weeks where we'll have Kimberly Brown on the show. Make sure y'all go out and tell somebody else to come and watch the show. Share our show with other people, because we're trying to spread the word and reach the people and bring them into the shenanigans and all that good stuff. So do that for us. And then make sure that you subscribe if you have not subscribed. Like this episode and rate it. And share it out on your social media, please and thank you. And then tell us what you like, tell us what you love, but don't tell us what you didn't like, because we don't want to hear that shit. Good night.
And I will say, yes, real quickly, one of my readers, she works during the time of the show, but she always goes back and watches it. And she was I just want to, let you know that she was like, absolutely love the show. I'm sorry I can't see it when it's live, but she goes back and watches it and enjoys it, and said our last show with Sierra London was one of her favorites. She just thought, and she's watched pretty much all our shows. So I just want to give her a special shout out because.
And what's her name?
Name escaped me. Thank you for putting me.
I put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
I hate that because she don't watch this show, and then say, because she always emails me. We talk all the time. My mind is going completely blank. So you gotta forgive me.
We appreciate you, friend. We really, really do.
Oh man,
she's gonna have to call your name out on a future show just for this. And she's gonna
I'm thinking hard too, because
she's gonna remember when we go off air.
Yes, I will, because she is definitely one of my ride and dies, and we always email each other. So, charge it to my mind and not my heart, and charge it to Cassie.
What
Okay,
are you?
because you brought it up.
Or did I? So, with that being said, no, some people do come back and check it out later because they can't
Yes.
make it at the time
Yep.
we're doing it.
Yeah.
But we really appreciate everybody we really appreciate you guys when y'all come here live. We love having the audience. We love having y'all commentary, running commentary that we can read from and talk about right then and there. And we appreciate all of you who come back later. So, spread the word. Tell the people. And tell us what you
Bye.
like. Now, goodbye.